using a die that I got from Craspire. And these are kind of stained glass type looking, and the one I'm going to work with today is this one, and this is a great way to use up your scrap paper. So I have to open up my die here. I'm feeling for the plastic, sorry. Alright, and then I am just going to cut this out of a bunch of different colors. I'm going to use gold as my frame for the piece. And then I'm going to bring in my mini maker to cut these pieces. So I will be back as soon as I get all of my pieces cut out. So the first thing I've done is I have die cut out my framed piece, and I have glued it down to my card front. And now I have die cut my green, and I have all the pieces left here in the die. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and pick up with my little pickup piece here all of the pieces that are little leaves. Now I have to turn them over because that's upside down. All right, and I have a glue pen here I bought off of Temu, and this came off of Temu as well. Sorry for the hair. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to draw inside these leaf shapes here and add the glue where I know I want the leaves. And then I'm going to take my pieces and piece them into that place. And if I have trouble, I can also take a pair of tweezers and get them to set in there as well. So this is kind of like puzzle pieces, all right? So yeah, we're gonna be working kind of backwards, and I think I might have these two pieces out of place. So let me just try moving. I think this is the bigger one. So let me see how that fits in there. Much better. All right, and this is the smaller piece that goes right there. All right, my other option would be to just take this die and flip it over onto the piece here and then push down with the pieces that I want in place. And let's just see how that worked out. Not bad, not perfect, but it did get them close to where I want them. And interesting how much smaller they look than the opening of what it is here. And this piece goes right here. All right, and now I am missing a petal, so I have to look around for it. And if I don't find it, I have to die cut it out again. But I'm looking for this center. I think it's still here. Yep, it's still on my die. All right, so before I move on to another color, I'm just going to look here and see, are there any other pieces? I think I could also add in all of these little stem pieces here, because I think they're stems and they're supposed to be green as well. And let's do that. And I don't know, maybe this too, I'm not sure. But this will get us started anyway. And I like that technique of flipping this over, so I'm going to try that again and see if I can get some of these to pop out of here. a little bit easier. Unfortunately, the stems are underneath here, so that may not work as well as I had hoped. So now I have moved on to metallic orange piece, and you can see here that what I'm working on here is a Gemini matte. I ended up switching my die cutting machines because this die and the paper and everything just seemed a little bit too thick to go through my other small machine. So I switched out and I'm going with my Gemini that's behind me. So now I'm just adding my glue into the areas where the flowers are, and I am going to add in my orange color. I'm using, as I mentioned before, I'm using my scrap pieces, and they are coming from cut cardstock, but they are kind of fall-like colors. So that's what I am using here for this project. And I think the rest of the pieces I'm gonna, oh, there, I can use these. I'm gonna have to go and find them in my cut pieces. All right, so I'm just gonna continue to place and move, and I find that using my weeding tool is really useful for this, and I can even pick up paper with it by piercing it a little bit to pick it up and move it. So I will continue on in this process and show you the steps as I go. So there I have my flower pieces in place, and now I'm going to do a dark green border around the outside. So again, I'm just going to go in here with my glue pen. I can't tell you how helpful something like that is. And then I'm just going to start picking up these pieces and figuring where they will fit. So once I have this done and the next color cut out, I will come back and show you the next step. I have gone ahead and cut out my last piece, and you can see a lot of it has fallen out. And so I have just loosely put these pieces in here to see if I like the look or if I wanted to leave it white. They are not glued in place. The light green pieces of the background are not glued in. So I am just, going through and picking up the pieces and making sure I have them the right direction, and I can tell so because of the curve from the die cut. And then I am just looking to see where this piece comes from and if I can place it. So it is definitely, a puzzle to kind of see where all these things go and whether or not I, want to place them there or not. So I'm just going to take a few minutes here and piece a few more in place and see what I think. I did like it white, but I'm liking the light green too. So I think what I might end up doing here is actually gluing these pieces down into place. So once that's done, I'll come back and show you the finished card.